87% of realtors that get into the business get out of the business after 2 years. That does not exist in our world.
We have massive visions around growing our businesses, and we are always looking to add talent to our world. We do everything in our power to ensure the people we surround ourselves with defy the odds, get into production, and build massive lives for themselves.
We have interviewed some of the top realtors in the world. If you're a new realtor, a top producer, or CEO of a mega team, Sales Beast Podcast is your blueprint for success.
With locations all across Canada, reach out to us to talk about partnership and opportunities. We are looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm the boss. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Sales Beast Podcast. We're here today with our good buddy, Kristen Schulz. I'm so happy to have you here today. We were just talking offline. We don't know your story really, which is odd because I see you at everything. I know you're a rock star. But I don't know really the details of how you came to be who you are today. So I know me and you got in the business, me, you, and Anna actually at a similar time, 6-7 years ago. How did that happen?
So it started out that I was actually a property manager. I was doing condominium property management. And then I had a baby. And while I was on mat leave, I decided to get my real estate license. And then after that, I decided to become an admin, which now that I look back, I was probably like the worst admin you could ever ask for. Like I'm a high D, high I, so absolutely no C in me at all. I have no detail orientation at all. So I decided to become an admin, and that threw me kind of into the world of real estate, and I fell in love. And yeah, it was part-time for quite a few years. I became a single mom and needed to work full-time, so I just kept doing property management and then decided to go full-time in 2019.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then in 2020, you started your team?
I did, yeah. We launched Luxe June 2020, June 1st.
So basically, 1 year and change, you went from 0 to 50 million. In volume.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely massive. It's insane.
Yeah, it was pretty
How does
amazing.
One do that? Because most people, when they get into business, it's a long, drawn out grind, and they definitely don't get the results you've gotten. So how does someone move as fast as you did?
I think I had a really good database, I think from property management as well, that I had just never utilized because I was so busy working full time. So I think once I really started to dig into the database, and I mean, I was with a different brokerage then, it didn't have the Keller Williams, systems and touches and things like that. So I think I had the database there. And once I plugged in, it really kind of blew up. I think I learned a lot from Andre Chin, and even just the MREA, and just from you guys, like everyone that I was surrounded by with Keller was just prospecting, lead generating, and leverage. So I had about 6 team members really quickly, and just dove into the Keller Williams everything, like drank the Kool-Aid like every day. As you say. So I just jumped into it and passed that on to the team, and we just grinded together. And yeah, we had a really, really good first couple of years for sure.
There's one thing I've noticed about you over the years, and this might be one of the reasons why it's a flaw of mine, I guess, but one of the reasons why I don't truly know your story that well. I think you're pretty good at making people feel special. And there's one thing I always tell people in our office: God or Darwin or whoever you believe in, they gave us 2 ears, 1 mouth, respect the ratio. And whenever I'm with you, you're always asking me questions about me, and you make the conversation about me. I imagine building relationships really quickly is probably part of the reason you blew up like you did.
Yeah. I'm a high I, like I talk about disc a lot, but I'm a high I, and I really love getting to know people. And I truly believe we can learn a lot from books, but honestly, we learn from other people. I'm just a sponge. Like I never want to be the smartest person in the room. And when I'm with you, Mike, or you, Anna, it's like, I just want to I'm just a sponge. I want to know everything about you guys, and I love connecting. That's what drives me. So I think that's naturally one of those great things that have come to me in this business. And then once kind of we put systems and models into my business, it kind of took off. So yeah.
When you look back at your journey, what are some of like the more pivotal moments that made you switch from, or like put you in the mindset of going from employee to business owner? business owner to now actually scaling a team. Could you think back to a couple experiences around that helped you change your perspective?
Well, I mean, I got humbled quite a few times, just in this industry. And I think just knowing that you don't know everything, being okay to trust other people to do things. A lot of us, especially when we're just in the career of real estate selling houses, we don't want to give up the control to an admin, to ISAs, to team members. So a big piece of that was learning how to qualify someone the right way and then trusting in that person and kind of letting go a little bit to allow the business to scale. Because I meet amazing realtors all the time that we're qualifying for, Icon to help them grow their team, but they're just not ready to give up control yet. So I would say giving up control, but also making sure that you're qualifying the right people to give that control to were probably the biggest things for me so far.
I love that.
Mhm.
And so you had Luxe in 2020. When did you officially partner with Icon? And can you tell us through that experience, what are some of the things that you've learned?
Yeah, so I actually met Andre at the KWIP Growth Summit, funny, in November of 2019. So I actually partnered with Andre in January. And the cool thing with him was I was an individual agent doing fairly well, and I just had a baby and I was very busy and needed leverage. And he basically, we sat down and he helped me create the growth path of what it looked like to grow a team and who I needed to become and the things I needed to do to grow a team. So we actually partnered before I started Luxe. I kind of came on as a team member, being kind of groomed to start the team. So I think the biggest thing, back to it, like the biggest thing I learned was really focusing on the 20% and being able to leverage and being able to trust the right people. And that's the only reason I was able to really grow Luxe to what it was trusting Andre, trusting the systems. Yeah, hope that answers that.
Yeah, it definitely does. We didn't even talk about what Icon was, but you are, in addition to being the team leader, team owner of Luxe, you're also the director of expansion for Icon. So sounds like a big, awesome title, but for those that are listening that don't know what expansion is, can you give us in your own words, like what expansion is and what your role with expansion of Icon is?
Yeah, so kind of to rewind it a little bit. So when I came in January 2020 and met Andre, I had this big idea. I wanted to start a team. I had the business going, but I needed operations. I need marketing. I had two little kids. I had a new baby. Like I needed help. I needed systems. So kind of where I was a little bit kind of the guinea pig for Icon. We had another team we're partnered with as well, but I was kind of the guinea pig with starting a brand new location. So it's kind of like the HelloFresh, really, of scaling a real estate business. So, the team provided full operations support, transaction coordination, marketing, leads. So it kind of allowed me to just focus on business, and I'm not sitting there on Canva, which is where I love to get stuck. I mean, I love Canva to avoid everything else that I have to do. So, or spreadsheets, or everyone will tell you about all my spreadsheets, but it allowed me to really scale because I was focusing on just growing the team and growing the business, and the people that were really good at operations and marketing were able to put gas on that fire and help me with that. So that's a big piece about Icon is coaching, operations, marketing, just full transaction support, and leads, which helps as well.
Yeah, I sometimes think as we're realtors, right? We're salespeople. So when you look at the realtor getting into the business, they often need someone to merge the gap between brokerage and solo agent. That's where team steps in. And then when someone has a successful real estate business like you had, you're still a realtor. How do I build a business? And that's where expansion really helps out with that. So when I look at it, I'm not part of expansion anymore, but as you know, we were part of it and it was fantastic while it lasted. You should try and recruit me.
Yeah. Hey.
But it was great because literally the only two things I needed to worry about were how do I become a great leader to my people and how do I continue to produce as a salesperson. Everything else was not really my problem.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, like I have ADHD, I'm very easily distracted. Like, yeah, and then I hyper focus. I could spend 4 hours on a spreadsheet or Canva, when my time is definitely better spent either with my kids or building the business or becoming a better leader. So that first year, as much as we did a ton of business, the growth that I saw in terms of myself over that year was insane, just because I was able to pull back a little bit and focus on myself, focus on my family, and then focus on, just being a better leader and pumping in, rainmaking, as they call us. So
Mhm.
it's funny that in Canada, it's not this crazy concept that it is in the States. Like in the States, everyone does it. So it's exciting that we start bringing it into Canada and really scaling some really good realtors here and growing their businesses. So that's my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And realtors out there, they're looking for one of two things, time or money. And I find a system like expansion really solves both. You're able to build a system where you're not the one starting from the ground up. You're not building the team from the ground up, but you already have the systems, the support, the resources to be able to now, instead of starting at the bottom, literally from 0 to 100, you're starting at 50, but now you can go to 120, 150 because you already have that platform of support.
Yeah, and they use like the 7 levels of MREA. Like I was kind of able to skip a couple steps because I didn't have to hire the buyer. Well, I had to hire a buyer agent, but like I didn't have to hire the admins. I didn't have to deal with all that stuff. It was already there. So it kind of allowed me to skip forward a few steps, which is super awesome.
I was talking to someone the other day. I don't know if it was you, Anna. I forget who it was. But when I was plugged into that expansion model, and obviously part of it was based on what was going on in the market, I would come in this office some days and wonder like what do I do today? Like I would struggle to fill my time. It's like the deals were pumping, so I
Yeah.
never had to hit the phone. Everything was handled, and I would just sit here in peace. It was fantastic.
I wish I had peas. Oh my gosh. But I think it allows, because we have that time back, it allows us to go and build our world bigger. So our agents can build bigger worlds. So like we always say that, right? The law of the lid. I'm always trying to build a bigger world. And so is Andre. So our agents can grow more. Because if not, they're gonna leave you. They're gonna hit their lid and leave you. So now it
Mhm.
allows me to have more time to travel. Like I went to Arizona in the States probably 6 times, 7 times the one year because they're doing expansion so well, but it allowed me to go do that and now bring it back here, to help grow organizations. So it's been pretty awesome. I mean, nothing's perfect. There's lots of kinks and bumps, and we've had to break things, and we had to pause. Like we could have brought on a bunch more teams last year, but we decided to stop and just go deep and figure out all the leaks here so we can go fast again. So I think that's a big thing if people want to go big and go hard and go fast. And we're definitely kind of like taking it step by step.
Well, I love that. So what is your vision for the next couple of years, both with Icon and Luxe? Like where do you see your expansion and the businesses overall growing?
So our goal by the end of this year is probably another like, oh, Andre's gonna punch me if I say it's too low, whatever. So I mean the goal by probably by the end of the year is 15 teams. We're at 7, almost 8 now. So, but yeah, like we said 10 last year and we stopped at 7 because we really want to make sure that things were in place. So I think I'm not trying to focus too much on the number of teams, more the quality of the talent that we're bringing in and how well they're doing, because that's the why. That's why we're doing this. So I'd rather have, maybe 11 teams or 10 teams by the end of the year, but everyone's scaling. Everyone's got really great businesses that they're growing. So I focus sometimes too much on the numbers and then I get all in my head about it. So I'd say for sure by the end of the year, I want at least 10, 11 really good quality teams partnered with us that want to grow. And that we're just seeing major scalability. A couple of years, 20, 30, we'll see. But yeah, I'm very excited.
No,
In
that's
in that business, so my perspective on recruiting agents is if you cast a wide net, the quality will show up through the quantity. And
Yeah.
if you have a rigorous interview process, there will still be some people that squeak through that maybe shouldn't be here. But on average, it will work out.
Yeah.
You speak to a ton of people, you're going to end up hiring a lot of people. I heard Gary Keller say a couple of years ago, and it went way over my head. He basically said, I can see today we'll have the biggest business in 5 years based on the number of KPIs that are going
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. He said, show me how many KPIs you do, and I'll tell you how good your business is going to do.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've met with Andre before. He's a super inspiring guy. I absolutely love him. After meeting with him, he didn't try and close me that hard, but if he did, it'd be hard for me to say, no, I don't want to sign up for this. I imagine a lot of people get very excited. Do you ever have people that come on board that maybe aren't a good fit?
Yeah. I mean, I say it all the time. Like sometimes you can bullshit your way through the KPA process. It just some people get through the cracks. It is what it is. I think that's part of, I take a lot of extreme ownership in the people that we bring on. So I think a lot of it is me, and I fall in love with people. Like you guys, I love to connect with people, and I sometimes see people with rose-colored glasses, if that's what you say. So that's something that I'm really working hard with in myself, and having my other leadership hold me accountable to is making sure I'm following the KPA, that I'm asking the right questions, that just because I love someone for who they are doesn't mean they're going to be great for our organization. So we haven't had our retention's pretty much 100% so far. Like at the beginning, we had one team that we decided not to be in business with, but you know, things are going to happen. But yeah, that KPA process is so important. But we follow a really good 30, 60, 90 as well, and a really good onboarding process. And I think they say don't judge us for who we hire, judge us for who we keep. So we're really, really particular on following the process once they're here, and making sure that they do actually want to give up control and let us help them scale.
Yeah. And
So
I totally agree with what Anna said earlier. People decide to get in this business, join teams, join expansion networks for time or money. Can you speak to what the financial model looks like for someone that joins your group? And you don't need to give specific numbers, but how does it
yeah,
work?
yeah. So it's funny. We when we sat down and really tried to figure out the foundation of Icon, we were like, do we go a net profit model? What do we do? And when we sat down and listened to one of Cody Gibson's classes, he said, just stick to the referral model. That's what brokerages know. That's scalable. You can have, a brokerage in Germany knows how to send a referral. So that's pretty much how it works. Depending on if it's a team owner transaction or a team member transaction, we have different splits, basically different referral structure from that. We also have budgets, obviously. So say, for instance, like a 3%, like your photography budget would be about 3% of the GCI of that deal. So it took some time to really figure out what the financial model worked, but we do it by referrals, and we do it depending on who you are on the team. If it's a team owner deal, if it's a team member deal, we have graduated splits as well, based on a team member's production. And then once they hit a certain level of production, they can apply to be a director of sales. They can apply for some more leadership roles. So but yeah, the referral model is just the easiest way. The brokerages know it. Yeah.
So taking it back just a tiny second, and we can definitely come back to like the financial aspect of things, but I wanted to ask you, what are some of the things that you look for, whether it be through the KPA process or as you're hiring? What are some things that stick out to you that you are like key indicators of whether you want to be in business with someone or not?
Funny that, like, I'm just learning this really, but I think the biggest thing I'm really looking for now is and we have it in, Andre and I talk about this a lot, but it's not the easy button. We're not the easy button. Like a lot of people, they call us and they come to us. I get approached a lot about Icon, and people want to talk about Icon, but I'm not here to take the burden off of you. I'm here to put gas on your fire, and it's going to get harder. So I'm not here to make your life easier, maybe with certain things, but really we're putting your energy and your efforts in something else. So I'm not taking everything from you so you can go travel for 6 months. I mean, if you want to do that, we can work something out maybe, but all in all, I'm looking for people that want to take their motivation and take their action and just put it somewhere else where they can scale faster. So I find a lot of people don't quite get that. They want to like kind of take their foot off the gas because they're like, oh, you're taking care of everything. So I'm really making sure that it's people that are highly motivated, that motivate themselves, that lead themselves well. That's the biggest thing I've learned lately. I had a coaching called Craig Zuber, and I asked him, like, what builds confidence in a leader? Like, what should I be looking for? What are some really good leadership qualities? And he said, great leaders lead themselves the best. So that's something I'm looking for now as well, is really seeing how someone leads themselves in their own life and their own business. And then following the life story as well. I really dig in now to the life story, how they've shown up, what their relationships look like. I used to like get all in my head. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm judging them on their life story. Like people go through things and things happen and I don't have the whole story. But really, success leaves clues, as we all say, and people have habits and patterns that we need to really dig into. So it's kind of all the things I'm looking for.
I love that. And so on that note, what are you doing to lead yourself or develop yourself? Because you're now a leader of leaders, and that in itself can be so challenging, but so rewarding. So what do you do, whether it be daily or weekly, to develop yourself?
I think this past year, the biggest thing that I focused on in terms of improving my leadership lid is just my own integrity with doing what I say I'm gonna do. And I know we like say that out loud and we're like, I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do, but like no one really knows if you are. You're in your own head. So really saying if I'm going to the gym tomorrow at 5, like I'm not letting myself down. And I think the more you do that, the more confidence you build, and just the more I get imposter syndrome a lot. So to me, that's really helped me build my confidence as a leader. I'm always constantly learning. You have to constantly be learning, especially like Mike said, if you have that time now because your team's on the phones and your team's doing all this stuff and you've built the systems out, what are you doing to grow your lid? So I would say those things. I take a really like holistic approach to business, and I think that's so important. I really make sure that my spiritual health is in check and my mental health is in check. And if they're not, then those things go first, because I can't run the business if I'm not here. So, and if my brain's not in it. So, just kind of doing the standard things. Like I said this on a podcast a little bit ago, is every Sunday I'm honest about where I'm at and what pillars are low in my life. If my key relationships are sucking at the time and my mental health isn't good or whatever it is, then I put those first. So being okay to say no and put myself first, and in self integrity, just doing what I say I'm going to do all the time.
That's so key, because I don't know why, but this has come up so often in my world. But I keep saying the whole gas mask analogy, like the oxygen mask thing. Like you have to be able to focus on yourself, your well-being, because then you cannot show up for others if you're not putting yourself first. So that's super key. What books are you reading right now, if there's any that you can share with us? I love books.
Ooh, okay. So I reread a lot of books because of my ADHD. I have to, like, some pages I'm like, did I read that page? I don't even remember what I just read. So I'm rereading the 12-week year. We have like a book club with the team going on right now. That's what I'm like really honing in on right now, is the 12-week year. What else am I reading? I'm trying to think. Wait, let me pull up my Audible. I read Ed Milet's book recently, his The Power of One More. I read David Goggins' book. You know what? Looking for new book suggestions.
I have some. Anna, what
Hey,
have
can
you
you
read
send
this
me?
year? I can tell you them right now. I have a list.
I'm
Oh,
almost done the Elon Musk book.
is it good?
It's taken me so long. It's really good,
A
and
big
there's
book.
lots of lessons in there, but it's freaking long. We're rereading also The Power of Moments as a team.
Oh, I
Um,
like that.
the Arnold Schwarzenegger book, Be Useful.
Ooh, I like that one. Here, and I'm texting you these things so I can remember because I
We'll
will
send
not.
you the notes after.
Or, yeah, technical things.
And then 10x is easier than 2x. That one I just finished as well.
Okay. Yeah, send me all
Those
those
are
because definitely need some newer books. So I'm reading like Brene Brown's books, but those are the ones I kind of go to and then I come back to like every month. When I'm feeling a certain way, I'll go to those books.
that one right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm reading Daring Greatly right now. I have read Dare to Lead, but it's the same thing. I have to reread it. If you haven't read this book, it's called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I read that book every year religiously. It changed my life. I can't talk more about that book. It's like incredible.
I'm writing that one down.
There
And
you
then
go.
I have this one. I literally talk about this one all the time, The Ideal Team
I
Player.
love that book. Yes. Humble, Hungry, Smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you?
Yeah, Mike.
I have Big Potential. That was from Kathy Schweitzer, Christmas present.
Oh,
It was
nice.
really good.
Okay.
I read Think and Grow Rich. I read that pretty much every year.
That's cool.
Psychology of Money. It's probably my favorite personal
Oh
finance
yeah,
book.
I've read that one too. Yeah.
And then 10x is easier than 2x. I'm going to read that guy's, I think his name is Ben Hardy. He's fantastic. I'm going to read
And
everything.
Dan Sullivan, right? They wrote it together. Yeah.
Yeah, they wrote it together. So I read that one, and then he's got one. Ben Hardy has Be Your Future Self, I think it's called. So I read that.
Okay.
Traction. That's the best book I've read this year.
Really?
Have you guys read it?
No.
It's incredible. It's all about systems. I'll send you this after.
Okay.
And
That's
then
awesome.
John Wooden on leadership. It's really good. He's a basketball coach, um, college basketball coach, UCLA, I believe.
Okay.
And then I'm reading that one I told you about, Anna, Be Seen by Jen Gottlieb, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that we have a book club too.
I want to be in your book club. Hold me
Yeah, you should be
accountable to
in a
reading
book
more
club.
books. I'll
Yeah.
join it for sure.
I do 20 pages a day. And then, like, I just rip
Easy.
through books. It adds up. It's like 30 a year.
Yeah.
We should launch a book club. I forgot that we're recording a podcast right now because we're all besties, but we could launch a book club and
I'm
We
down.
should.
for our listeners. I would love that.
Yay.
That'd be great.
Yes. Totally. I would be involved. Just tell me.
Cool. We'll go to our
What to do.
website. We'll put a landing page on there. Link is going to be somewhere in the comments. And we'll get people to register for the book club and we'll figure out when that's going to get started.
See, we should all hang out more and talk more because we come up with great ideas.
We really do.
We're gonna make this a thing when it's not recorded because we'll swear a lot more probably and say.
Well, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about YP and some of the things that we're building out there and some of the things that we're excited about. So just to give a bit of background info, back in 2019, I was a big part of launching a young professionals network here in Canada. And it was an awesome experience, brought a lot of great community to the real estate industry. And we all know what happened in the 2020, 2021 era. COVID really took a big hit on communities and building relationships, especially within the real estate professional world. And so Kristen and I have decided to relaunch the Young Professionals community. Well, really, Kristen was the one that brought this idea forward initially. So tell me a little bit about, I never asked you this, but why did you want to get involved and
In
what
YP.
important to you about relaunching this thing?
I think so. A little bit about a little more about my past is I didn't have the best upbringing. Like I was trouble. Like I was, yeah, I was addicted to drugs. Like I had a really not very good start. And a big thing for me is inspiring young people that don't necessarily believe they deserve good things and great things that they do. And I think when I first came to the KWIP Summit, I was doing well, but I still didn't feel, I don't know, I was just so inspired by everyone that was on stage and they were young and they were doing amazing things and they weren't that much different than me. So I think for me, it's I don't know, it's just to inspire people that like I was when I came in 2019 and to just teach them that if they just do a couple things differently and put themselves in the right rooms, which is the biggest thing, that their worlds can completely change. My world has completely changed since that YP summit in 2019. My whole world's changed. So I think it's paying it forward, paying it back, and trying to do the same thing that those guys did for me. And yeah, so it's my heart. It goes to my heart. YP.
Thank you for sharing. And
Yeah.
very much like you, like YP was such a big part of my upbringing in real estate and led to so many opportunities that we have today, like launching our brokerage and the building of our teams and so many other things that we probably don't even see anymore. And, I think there's a lot of companies and teams and lots of people out there being loud, maybe not necessarily always for the right reasons. And I think you're so right. We want to give back. We want to inspire. We want to help people find their path, whether it be in the Keller Williams world or outside of the Keller Williams world.
Yeah.
Does not matter. But just to build back that community that a lot of people are missing right now.
Yeah, that's so important. That's our why.
That's the why. Mike, do you have any questions for us about YP?
Yeah, are we gonna have another growth summit?
Well, great thing that you asked. We actually have an event coming up on April 17th for the Love of Real Estate that we're going to help host. So it is hosted by some of the owners of Keller Williams offices in Canada. And we're going to be having a private mastermind in the morning before the event. And we're also hosting the social after through the YP community. So we're really pumped up about that.
Nice. I'm going to that actually. I didn't know that was you guys.
We're helping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh yeah. We hitched ourselves to that pretty quick. We wanted to be involved for sure. And there's some pretty amazing guests coming. So it's going to be amazing.
Who's going to be there? I know you guys have Glover.
Jay Papazan
Yeah.
is coming in person. And I forget the other person's name. It's a woman. And I can't remember. Andre's
There's a lot of great realtors too that are being interviewed.
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
a mega agent panel, a top team panel, and then a rookie panel in addition
Nice.
to speakers. So it's going to be awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're excited. And eventually YP will have its own. I think what's really important right now is we rebuild our membership and really put the value out there to everyone joining YP. But yeah, we're making some pretty good headway now in terms of membership and bringing the value back to people so they come back to YP. Yeah. So we'll
I'm
have
going to
big
throw a
party.
quick plug in there. If you want to be a part of YP, check out our kwypcanada.com website. You can also email kwypleaders@gmail.com and book a one-on-one to chat about how the young professionals community can help you in your business. And one thing Angus and I from the YP network were talking about is that this is not just for people that are considered age young, but it's really open to anyone that wants to be surrounded by energy, that is looking to build talent and build leaders in other ways, and be able to give back to that community as well.
Definitely. Yeah. If you're over 40, we'll still take you.
We'll still take you.
You really, like, now that we're talking about it, you do build some pretty deep relationships through YP. Like I'm thinking of Michelle Terza. I sat beside her during one of those panels, and I had no idea who she was up until that moment. We sent referrals back and forth now. We messaged, like, I talked to her all the time. She was asking me about Asana, which I have no idea about, but we got her the information she was looking for. You just have a high level people that want to help you. And they'll be your buds for life after you meet them there.
Yeah. And I mean, like how we all met pretty much through YP or through like other people who were in YP that basically connected all of us together. Like it's just put you in the right rooms with the right people to learn and grow. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Dylan Suter, we're coming for you and your numbers. I told them.
So Kristen, obviously, in addition to being an awesome team leader, partnered with Icon as the director of expansion and president of KWYP and many other things, you're also into real estate investing, and I want to hear a little bit about your journey there. So what can you share for us on that side of your business?
Yeah, I kind of fell into real estate investing. I basically found a really good deal. You've read the book Money People Deal. If you have, I found a really good deal and I had the right people in my corner to help me with the financing. So basically, yeah, found it and then just called everybody and just was like, somebody help me. I need help with this. So yeah, I started out, I started out in new construction years ago. I put $20,000 on a new construction townhouse that was like 280,000, which doesn't exist anymore. But in the year that after I put the $20,000 down, the market kind of popped off. So that $280,000 house by the time it was built was worth like 400. So I love new construction for that. I know it's a little bit trickier right now in this era, but that was in 2017. But I still love new construction. My home now is a new construction home, and especially with the smaller builders, like out of town builders, it will take a smaller deposit and they won't have the graduated, deposits that you have to do. Putting down a $50,000 deposit and then a year later, typically the market's going to go up and you're going to make money without even making a mortgage payment. So I've done fairly well in terms of new construction. And then I kind of fell into doing a flip and duplex conversion. So we turned, single detached home into a duplex. Airbnb the top, which was a whole new experience to learn how to Airbnb. And then we rent out the basement unit. So that's proven to be really profitable even in this market. The Airbnb is definitely something I will do again. I know it's a little bit more work, but the tenants leave and they pay more per night. And I have that tool for our clients, for the team. If, a client is 2 weeks in between properties and they need somewhere to stay, it's if we have families staying. So it's a really, really good resource to have the Airbnb. And it's kind of fun, honestly. You build it out, the systems, it's fun. So I'll definitely push Airbnbs a little bit more in the years to come. It's like a
I've never tried that. It's always made me nervous.
Airbnb.
The Airbnbs, yes, but it's specific to where I live. Um,
Mhm.
and this might be a limiting belief, but I've always thought, why would anyone stay at my Airbnb in Hamilton, Ontario, in the scuzzy areas where I buy what I buy?
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so
I
I've
don't know.
never gone there.
I have a limiting belief
I
maybe with you too there. Ooh.
I love how the tenants leave. So we do young professionals only, and
Yep.
they normally after 2 years will buy their own house.
Mhm.
And yeah, we doll them up, make them look nice. And normally they're from Toronto and they don't know it's a scuzzy area until they moved in, which causes
Yeah.
them to move out
And then
pretty
you want them to
quickly.
go anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had that belief too. Like, I live in Elmira, Ontario, which is like everyone's like, who? Like, the first thing I get asked every time I say it's in Elmira, they're like, "What's in Elmira?" But there's no hotels in Elmira, so it really works out. And we're 10 minutes from St. Jacob's Market. We're close to Waterloo, so it was a cheaper home, but we still can charge over 225 a night. Um, yeah, for that. Plus, we have the basement unit rented, so it works out really
Hmm.
well. So yeah, it's been fun. Airbnb is fun as long as you have the systems in place and I have someone that goes in and fills everything. Like, I send her the calendar, like a screenshot, and she has access to it, and she just goes in. I don't even know she's done it. And she goes in, refills, cleans, changes bedding, and then I preset all the Airbnb responses. When someone books, it tells them the rules. It asks them a day after they've checked in how things are going. It almost runs itself. So it's pretty awesome. Actually, I really do like
Nice.
Airbnb. Yeah, that's my investing. I'll
Nice.
get more soon. I want to look out east. I have a team member who owns about 50 units out east, so he's, you know, teaching us all about that and seeing if there's opportunity there. So, because there's not a whole lot left here, in my opinion,
Hmm.
opportunity with investing. So,
Yeah, it's
we'll
gotten
see.
expensive.
Yeah.
Like the first house I bought in Hamilton was, it was 205,000. Now that same house sells for five.
Can't even buy a lot for that, I feel like
I know.
now. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah. So I mean, rents are great, but with rates and stuff, I just, yeah,
Hmm.
I'd rather look elsewhere. There's so much opportunity. I think we have that limiting belief in us that it's so hard to invest in other provinces and other countries, but it's really not if you know the right people. So it's that Money People deal, another great book to read. So get past all those roadblocks that you think you have.
Hmm. You should come. I see you hitting the gym all the time.
Twice a
Um,
day.
you should come twice a day. Wow.
Mhm.
We have this, he's a buddy of mine now, the super jacked up guy. His name is Nate.
Yeah. Is
Um,
this your Saturday club?
yeah, you should
I
come this
see you on
Saturday.
social.
You should come
I'll
this
go.
Saturday. This Saturday,
Yeah.
6 a.m. If you're a
Where?
minute late, I don't know if you're a Good Life member, but if you're a 6:01, they do a shift change. And the guy before 6 is super cool. They'll let you in for free. After 6, you get charged like $25. But
Okay.
the guy, I'm going somewhere with this. That guy, Nate, not only does he get you in shape, he's also an investor in the States. So he's pretty well versed down there. So you get some knowledge, you get a
Okay.
workout. We'll see you Saturday at 6, 5:59.
Saturdays. Okay. I will do that. If you guys
Okay.
text me the details.
Anna, do you want to
And now
come?
that I've said it, now I have to go. I just have to find a sitter, or like I just make sure my children are somewhere, but I will be there.
Nice. Don't disappoint our listeners, Anna. Are you going to come?
I don't have a Good Life membership. I'm not saying that as an excuse, but I don't have a good
Five
membership.
Even before
59 and you're
6.
good.
Yeah, you
Five
gotta
fifty
go.
nine and you're good. Hopefully, Good Life's not listening to this.
Okay.
You can put her on the spot now, Mike. You can't do
I guess
that.
I have to come.
That'd
There
be
we
so
go.
fun. We can throw up
Yeah,
together.
I'll come. If Regina's there, I'll come.
She always comes.
I know.
Yeah, is there like a big group?
There's normally between 5 and 10.
Okay. I see Sandy's
Mm-hmm.
going too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'll be good.
Cool.
Well, Kristen, it's been a pleasure as always, and I really thank you for coming on and sharing all the value that you have. And obviously, our listeners can still connect with you on social media afterwards. But before we let you go, we want to ask the question that we always ask all of our guests. Who do you know that we should have on this podcast?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of people. Do I have to tell you a name right now?
Yeah.
I should have prepared for this.
We like to put you on the spot.
Yeah. I just don't know who you've had recently or if it's someone I'm going to mention that you've already had. I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, we've had Andre, that's for sure. We've had all like the people that you probably think
What
that
about Adam Pope?
that's a great suggestion.
Yes, winning.
Good
Okay.
job.
Like how it went. Yeah, I love Adam. Him and I do coffee all the time. I love his journey. I love just everything about him. I think he's a fantastic human. So trying to help him out. Yeah,
I
definitely get his business off the ground.
we'll get him. We'll get him on the podcast. Well, thank you. It's been such a pleasure. Any final words before we let you go?
No, we'll see you all April 17th at the For Love of Real Estate for all the fun things and all the learning.
Awesome.
And
Thanks
thank
so
you guys
Love
for
it.
having me. This has been fun. I
Yeah.
feel like we're just hanging out. This is great.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.